everyone. It's Suzanne Tucker with Generation Mindful. How are you guys? Hope you're having a good week. This is Feeling Friday number 14, that many. And today we are bringing this one in. I am huggable. I am huggable. Let's hug. So we're going to start, as you might guess, with our hands around ourselves a little bit. And repeat after me, breathing in. I am huggable. Breathing out. Let's hug. Breathing in. I am huggable. Breathing out. Let's hug. One more time. Let's just stick with the I am huggable twice. Breathe it in. I am huggable. Breathe it out. I am huggable. Doesn't it seem a little silly to say? We feel a little silly saying those words. And why, right? So let's break it down. I think that we've heard people say things like, oh, do you need a hug? Right? Mocking in a mocking, sarcastic way. Surely that is what we sort of hold up to boys and men and even adult women. We act like in our society that being sensitive is a weakness, when truly it's your superpower. It's our superpower as a world. We collectively need more sensitivity, more self-awareness, more awareness of others. And that's what emotional intelligence does for us. So let's talk about this thing, hug. Let's look at the science of hugging. We are meant to be in community. And when we hug, not only children need hugs. If you're human, you need touch. So some of the benefits, I teach baby massage every Friday, in fact, at 10 a.m. So when I get done here, I'm literally going to sit in a circle on the floor with moms and dads and babies and sometimes grandparents and aunts and uncles. And what we do is we practice the art of connection and literally using our hands and touch to nurture our children. And so when we touch with something as simple as a hug, some of the things you're going to see are lower blood pressure right away and lower heart rate. And the coolest thing is what happens in the brain. So when you are hugged or you hug someone, oxytocin is released, dopamine is released, and serotonin are released. So what do these things do? Well, oxytocin, for one, feels good. It hits the emotional center of the brain, and it brings bonding. So what happens is when you hug, that contentment goes up, the stress and anxiety go down, and then your social bonds strengthen. So a lot of times we think of oxytocin as like the attachment hormone. The other thing, though, is that dopamine, that hits the reward center, that feels good. And then the serotonin is like an antidepressant, basically. Okay? So we're totally missing the boat as a society. We do not think about touch enough. We don't think about what happens to our little people. Are they getting enough touch? And we surely don't think about us as adults. So one tip for today to bring this into your life practically and playfully is to just start hugging. And instead of hugging in passing, actually try this. It's really funny and fun. I did this with a teenager even. Hug for a minute. It's hilarious. It's very, very silly and awkward and funny. And then at the end, very, very cool. Just declare it. I'm going to hug you for a minute. They're going to be like, what is going on? This feels really, really long. And certainly do it with your little tiny people and your partners. Okay? I challenge you, set that timer for a minute and hug somebody. It's amazing what happens in your body. That is why now there's like this whole thing out there called cuddling, where people are literally getting their touch needs met. It's kind of sad, just because they don't have someone in their life to give them those cuddles. And it's just merely a cuddle. And there's science behind it, right? So if you haven't heard of this cuddle therapy, it's for real, all right? And I know it makes us uncomfortable because touch makes us think about all these other things, sexuality and all these other things. But I want you to understand that touch is a basic primal need separate from our sexuality, okay? It's one of our senses, and if you look at skin, it's actually our largest organ. It's the largest organ we have in our body, and yet it goes so overlooked. So this week, I want you to use touch strategically, okay? Do it consciously, do it intentionally. And certainly, if you notice this going on in your home where stress is up, maybe you're moving, maybe things are new, maybe it's a new day at school, you can break out the hugs because it will lower the stress and bring you more into the green brain. You might just be having a tough moment at Target and need to break out the hugs and bring you down. Okay, so remember this week the power of this mantra from Little Silly Facts in our Peacemaker cards. I am huggable, let's hug. So this little guy coming out soon, he's made for that. So I'm going to end with just hugging him. So see you guys later. Have a great week. And I would love to hear in the comments if you ever consciously or strategically use hugs, especially with little ones that are maybe even having a meltdown. Maybe they hate it in the moment, but they want one later. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.